Yo, 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 what up, what up, what up, Facebook? What up, YouTube? What's going on, guys? Okay, tonight I have a special treat for you if you're joining in. If you've never joined into one of these broadcasts before, my name is Darren Little, and I'm tuning in live from Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada, and thank you for joining us on this exclusive and private VIP interview where we're going to be turning back the clock a little bit and talking to an amazing gentleman, an entrepreneur that's only 23 years old, guys, okay? Now, I want for you to imagine, because we've gone through quite the trauma here in this last little bit with the COVID-19. And we've all been in lockdown, and it hasn't been too fun for a lot of people. And now they're going back to their jobs only to find out that there's been some corporate restructuring that's gone on, and they're either getting laid off, they're getting pink slipped, or they're getting a letter saying, thanks a lot, but we no longer need your services. So they're finding themselves in a very awkward position. I just actually got a phone call from a gentleman a few days ago that got let go from an 11-year position of a career that he was in. And he was completely shocked when he got the letter saying that the company was restructuring and he no longer had a job. Now, this particular story, guys, is kind of very unique, because I want for you to imagine, what would it be like for you with COVID in the event that you were actually working in a hospital, okay? Working in a hospital, and every day you were in a position where you were potentially, everything that you touched, everywhere that you went, that you were potentially going to get COVID-19, okay? And that's sort of the situation that happened with the gentleman that you're about to meet tonight. And it was actually in December of 2019 that he finally reached his breaking point and realized that if he didn't get out, that he may actually end up dead, okay, with COVID-19. So it kind of gave him the inspiration to get real serious and to be coachable and to surrender his pride and ego and just show up and follow the bouncing ball. And he's had an incredible story. In the month of May, he actually made $23,000 in a single month. But what's cool about it is he did it on a part-time basis, still while going to the hospital, still while doing his nursing, still while working in the cardiac department of the hospital. He did it on a part-time basis, okay? And I know that there's a lot of people out there that work full-time jobs, and they wonder, like, how can they make that bridge? How can they make that bridge over into becoming an entrepreneur and having an online business that is generating income for you while you're working, while you're sleeping, while you're out running errands, and you're going to be able to hear directly from him on tonight's broadcast. Now, what I'm going to be doing at the end of the broadcast, so this is the area that you know, if you've got questions that you're going to want to stick around for, we'll probably be chatting back and forth here for maybe about 40 minutes, and then I'm going to open it up, okay? I'm going to open it up to you to actually ask questions tonight so that you can get inside here, inside his head, to find out what was the mindset that he had to have in order to be not only in COVID zone, okay, but be able to not be so stressed out that he could still sleep at night and that he could still do work towards his online business. So we're going to just say a quick hello here to a few people that are tuning in. Let's see who we got joining in. Miriam, I'm so excited for this evening. Awesome, great to see you here. You're a great inspiration for millions of people. I appreciate that, Miriam. Thank you. This is from today's post. Just hold on a sec here. James says, awesome story. Congratulations. Very touching. And who do we got? We got Mark Presswood, sharing value around the globe. Awesome, awesome. See you there, says Pam Phillips. Norman is tuning in from South Africa. Welcome. Stephen Cuffey, how are you, sir? Welcome. San Diego, California is checking in. And we got Kevin tuning in from California. Blake Smith, so good to see you. Let's go, let's go. Okay, and we're going to, who do we got? Priscilla from Fort Myers. We've got Victoria says, scary working in a hospital during COVID, nerve-wracking. Honestly, I can't imagine. James says, what's up, tuning in from New Zealand. Chris Napa, live from New Jersey. We got Richard from Knoxville, Tennessee. Betty Anderson is here, awesome. And we've got Aaron. I'll tune into some more of the people showing up here shortly. But in the meantime, buckle up, guys. And I want to introduce you to 23-year-old Joshua Ong. Let's give him a standing ovation, guys. Standing ovation to
yo, yo.
Brother, what a story. What a story. Oh my God. Oh my God. You must be like just so incredibly excited and fired up of the transformation that has happened for you in your life in only 6 months of taking action and moving into Millionaire Mentoring and becoming an entrepreneur. So I just want to say, first of all, I am super proud of you, bro. Super proud of you. So
thank you so much, Darren.
What I want to be able to do here is, I know that this whole COVID thing has been quite the shocker for a lot of people to go through. But heck, you were right in the zone. Like you were right working in the hospital with COVID patients and people that were coming in and out of the hospital. And from what I heard, that the virus actually would stay alive on surfaces for days, right? Days. So, tell us a little bit, turn back the clock a little bit. Tell us about what led up to the situation prior to sort of, finding out about COVID. Tell us a little bit about your background, what drove you into becoming a nurse, and tell us a little bit about the backstory.
Yeah. Again, thank you so much, Darren, for having me on this show. So my backstory is, right now I'm living in Singapore, but I'm actually from Malaysia. So I'm Malaysian, right? So I came over to Singapore for my studies, and as you know, the conversion rate is not that good, right? So like one ringgit in Malaysia equals to $3 over in Singapore, right? And that itself, I was like, aside from scholarship, I need to fund my own expenses, right? And that was way before like all these things started. Like I knew that I had to do something, but for the past 3 years plus, when I wanted to do my own stuff, like online marketing, I tried affiliate marketing, I tried drop shipping, I tried running my own agency, but I was never ever really so committed and so focused on something, right? Like that you need to do something, like you tried things out, but you just haven't hit your breakthrough, right? So that was essentially the past 3 years when I was dabbling around so many things, right? And how I ended up in nursing it's a funny story, right? Like my dad is an engineer, right? And of course, fathers always want their child to follow along their footsteps, right? So my dad was a bit like, so-called pissed that I ended up in nursing. But I mean, at the end of the day, my family still supported me, right? And that's how I ended up in Singapore, right? And I actually joined nursing because, I chose nursing, right? Not that I had no choice. I chose nursing and I find fulfillment in doing it. But, it reaches the point where, like you just feel that the amount of value that you put into the marketplace sometimes just not surpass your income level, and that's specifically if you're working in a job, right? Because you're serving your patients. I'm helping out the patients, but the truth is the one who's paying you is your boss, which is the company, right? And the amount of value that you put to the amount of time that I put, I just feel that I'm just I just deserve so much more, right? And surpass the money, right? Surpass the money. You feel that, like some of you guys out there, right? You might be doing your own job. You might be, working for someone else. And tell me this, right? There might reach a point where you just feel that you're meant for so much more, right? You just feel that whatever you're doing right now, there's just so much greater things for you, right? You need to understand that you need to live life by design and not by default, right? Live life by design, not by default. Understand that, if you always play victimhood, if you always play that, like whatever is happening around you is because of your boss, and you do not take 100% responsibility for your actions and for the results that you really desire, then, to be honest, you won't really go far, right? Unless you love working a job, then that's by you, right? So I think it was all the build up of me. Like, again, like I love nursing, I find fulfillment, but it reaches the point that, I just feel that I can be doing so much more, helping so much people, and just living, the so-called laptop lifestyle in a sense, but really helping people, and in a zone where you feel so confident, in a zone where you feel that, you're impacting so much other lives, right? Don't get me wrong. I love nursing, but I feel that my message can just go out to more people, and I can change and inspire more people's life in this process online, right? So that's a bit of a backstory about, how I ended up in affiliate marketing, how I ended up in nursing.
So tell us, you're on this path where you working like night shifts, where you working. I know some of them have like you work 4 days on, 3 days off, or something like that. Where is that the kind of path you were on, like all the way through the night, or were you in a day shift? What was it like?
Yeah. So one of the biggest problem about working shift job is that my schedule is always all over the place, right? Like it's a 5 day week, but your off day could be in the beginning, one in the beginning, one in the end, or you can be like working 5, 6, sometimes 7 days in a row. Then maybe you get 2 to 3 days off, right? So it's really, really tiring. And to be honest, like people always say have a routine, right? The power of having a routine. But to be honest, it's hard for me to have a routine because of all the shift work. It just messes up with your sleep cycle and everything. So yeah.
So tell us, what was it that really got you? Because I always talk about this thing called the breaking point, right? That's where you just finally say enough is enough. I just can't do this anymore. Tell us a little bit about that, of what drove you to that point where you just said, okay, I'm going all in on my dream.
All right. So I think it was late, it's Q4 of 2019. And I was deciding between, like, I know that I had to do something, right? Like I know I had to do something, and like the job itself is just not gonna make a cut, right? Because, like, again, like I felt to a point where the amount of value that I put in the marketplace, and the income, right? To be honest, like if you're working a full-time job, you get those bonuses, right? And you get paychecks coming every month. And some people get so excited when they get paychecks. But to me, honestly, when I see my paycheck, I'm like, oh crap, I'm on someone else's paycheck, right? So I'm not, to be honest, I'm not so excited when I see paychecks. But the real breaking point was that, like, I knew that I had to do something. I knew I had to do something, because that I asked myself, right? Going down the line, how would I want my life to be like? Would I want to work, the 9 to 5 or the shift job until I'm 50, just to have enough money to do the things that I actually love, right? Why don't do the things that I actually love right now, like this, online, having interviews like this, chatting with people like you, amazing people in the industry, and still make money at the same time, right? And it just only makes sense. It just only makes sense if the question, I think, would be, how badly do you want it, right? Because different people always have dreams, right? Different people always have dreams, and having the freedom is so important. But some people can just say it lightly, but if no action is taken, it's just words are just pointless, right? So it all comes down to how badly that I wanted, like, it just had to happen, right? And I was at a point where I was deciding between e-commerce, affiliate marketing, and social media marketing agency, right? So I did a bit of each. And like, people always say, right, different business model work for different people, right?
Yeah.
To be honest, my best advice would be, you know different people, like everything is able to make money, right? So go ahead, try something, and then once when you have a feel like if that's for you, right? I tried e-commerce, right? I did not have fun doing product research. I did not have fun doing Facebook ads, and all that stuff, creating stores. So it came to that point where I had to decide, is e-commerce, social media marketing agency, and affiliate marketing. And after trying all, I fell back to affiliate marketing simply because that it's a freedom business model, right? Being able to help someone else and let the company do all the follow-up for you.
Awesome. Awesome. I know that, like a lot of people, say that they have a dream. They say that they're emotionally connected to their dream, but something blocks them. Something holds them back from really fully going for it. How important would you say that it would be for a person to be so emotionally connected to their dream that they can literally taste it? How important is that?
Like 101%, right? Because the truth is nothing in life worth having is easy, right? And if you don't sacrifice for what you want simply becomes a sacrifice, right? Like there's no secret sauce around this, but you got to understand that if you do not want it badly enough, then you just don't make the cut, right? Because there'll be times when you feel like shit, there'll be times when you feel like quitting, but the truth is, if you fall back to your why again, if you come back to the reason why you even started in the first place and you want it so badly, then that itself will pull you through.
Guys, if you're just tuning in right now, we're talking to Joshua Ong, a 23-year-old entrepreneur. He works in a hospital. He works as a nurse. He did this on a part-time basis. And this is within a 6-month period of time, guys. I want you to understand that when he talks about being emotionally connected to your dream, that's what I always tell people. But tell me, chime in there and tell me if you can tell by his pitch, if you can tell by his tone, if you can actually feel his vibrational energy as he's talking about his dream right now. Okay, throw me a comment down there below and tell me if you can. Just put a yes, I can definitely feel the vibration, because this is it, guys. I'm telling you, it is critical that you get this concept, that you have to literally be bulletproof like RoboCop, that you could go right through a concrete wall to get to your dream, that nothing and nobody is going to stop you. Nothing. That's when things start to happen. Now, Joshua, I know that a lot of people, when they first become an entrepreneur, probably the most difficult thing for people to do is to admit they have a problem, right? Because their ego just, no, I'll figure this out, right? Do you think that that's kind of what you went through in the early stages for 3 years, banging your head up against the wall?
To be honest, I do not want to say it, but that is exactly it, right? Going through so many blogs, watching so many YouTube videos, and just trying to figure things out myself, right? And like, again, it pains me to say this, but you, like, literally what Darren says, right? The moment when you drop your ego and when the moment you decide to be coachable, that will make all the difference for you, right? Because the thing is that you got to understand, right? You've been always trying things yourself, and someone else's knows exactly what to do, right? Tony Robbins always says this: the fastest way to success is to model after successful people. And what more often if you've been coached and mentored by a successful person already, right? Not having to get all the downfalls that this person already had, not making all the mistakes that this person already had, but knowing exactly what to do, right? Like people always say, there's no shortcut to success, but the cheat code, right, I would say, is working with someone who's already successful, because he will lay the path for you on exactly what to do. So again, Darren, like 100% agree with you on dropping the ego, number one, and just being coachable. Like whatever your mentor says, just follow.
Okay. So now this is another thing that I talk about quite often, and that's that, the first part is just admitting you have a problem and surrendering your pride and your ego to actually get started. Did you find still at that point that you actually had to do it a second time just to follow the bouncing ball and follow the actual steps and not be thinking in the back of your mind, oh, hold on a sec. I think I might have a better way. Did you find that you just had to say, okay, I'm going to trust this process and do exactly the steps that are taught?
I think for me is, when I came to the breaking point, when I released my ego, I think that the tension was so big that screw me trying stuff my own self and do exactly what the mentor says. So yeah.
Okay. So talk to us a little bit now about, mindset. Like, because I heard you say that, some days that you feel like you're going to want to throw the towel in, and other days you may feel like you're on the top of the world. Tell us a little bit about mindset and what is it that you did in order to be able to maintain a high vibration, peak performance mindset to be able to do this so fast?
Yeah, thank you for asking that question, because like a lot of people think mindset is bullshit, but I tell you, mindset, everything that happens in reality starts from the mind, right? That's the first thing that you gotta understand. Anything that happens in reality happens in your mind. If you're able to perceive it in your mind, you're able to perceive it in reality. So the mindset I had moving forward and looking back on hindsight was the mindset that I always preach right now. Is it's all about planting seeds, right? It's all about planting seeds, because when I mean planting seeds is about helping people by actually helping people. Not asking about the result that you can generate, but ask yourself what is the result that you can help other people generate, right? And again, planting seeds, when you plant seeds, some seeds may land on the rocks, some seeds might land on the weeds, some seeds might land on the grass, right? But always come from the perspective that how much value can you add to the marketplace? How when I talk to someone, right, I'm always coming from the place of how can I help this person? How else can I help this person? And that essentially is helping people by actually helping people and planting seeds, right? These people might not buy from you right away. That's just a simple truth, right? Because different people convert at different times. But the mindset that I had was to always be adding value to people and always be planting seeds, because the truth is, over time these seeds will grow, right? Yes, some seeds might grow, some seeds might fall on the rocks, right? And those are the seeds, you won't even know until over time, right? But it's all about always planting seeds. And just this literally just happened to me, right? What happened was, I had my Facebook group, and I was talking to this one person for like, this person knew me when I first started my Facebook group. And I was not even successful then, right? I was just sharing my stories and just sharing, giving value out, right? And 6 months after, this person finally joined me on one of the programs, right? Never bought anything massively. And 6 months after, this person bought from me, right? And I didn't even know that this person would buy from me back then, right? But again, the mindset that you're going to be having is about adding value to people first, right? Because understand that the amount, your income will be directly proportional to the amount of value that you add to the marketplace, and have the mindset of planting seeds. That is exactly what I preach right now. And looking back after 6 months, it's all about helping people. That's it. That's the first mindset.
It's very interesting to listen to you now share the story, because as you're as you're telling the story, I'm thinking about the simple action steps that people need to take if they want to get to their breakthrough. Because what I always tell people, like I even have one particular chart that shows like kind of like week by week, right, of massive action, and that 3 weeks there's a breaking of inertia, and then you can see the thing just starts to go like a snowball. Now, I want to be able for you to be able to break this sort of illusion that people have, that they can just kind of sit behind the veil of their computer and never talk to a single person, and that money's just going to start raining from the sky, right? Did you find that your business actually started to get traction when you lifted the veil and just looked at social media as a portal to be able to reach through and shake somebody's hand and start building relationships with real people?
Absolutely, man, 100%, Darren. Because at the end of the day, right, like people buy people, right? People don't buy businesses. People buy people, right? And it's essentially helping people, which I just shared earlier. The mindset number one, that you actually build the know, like, and trust factor, and get people to actually trust you, and essentially you're just literally being there and helping people out, right? Because the truth is, this industry sometimes is just has a bad name, right? Because people just sell people stuff and it just disappear, right? That's the truth. Like, that happened to me before, like in December, right? I bought something and a person just disappeared, right? So people always want it's again that it comes down to that human touch again, and knowing that that person is always there for you. I mean, unless something happens to Facebook, but the person is always there for you and always there to support you. And again, right, it's all about building relationships with people. But again, having that said, right, like what you said about building relationships, to be honest, when it surpasses the money, right, again, it's all about the relationship that you build and the impact that you can help other people achieve, right? When you look past the money, it's about the relationships that you build and the impact that you can help other people achieve.
As you're telling this story, I always kind of tell people to make it a goal to make at least 3, I call them universal deposits, right? Universal deposits into other people's lives. And it's kind of like planting seeds in a way, right? Making universal deposits. I say make 3 universal deposits per day, and all the bill collectors will go away. Right? I mean, you find that looking back at the journey that it's kind of similar to that of what you're talking about right now.
Absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. Always coming from a place of building up your so-called your golden nuggets and your treats in heaven.
Yeah. So let me ask you this, Joshua, because I talk a lot about how there's really only 2 major skills that people actually need to master in order to make a lot of money, right? 2 skills, right? I mean, other than people, right? People is obviously the number one most important thing when you're in a people business, right? That's all about relationships. But I typically tell them that all they really have to do is to be able to master writing a story and telling a story. So writing a story in copy form and then telling a story in video form, either on a Facebook Live or a Zoom broadcast or something like this, where there's a few people that are meeting up together. They used to have the Google Hangouts, and now everybody uses the Zoom software. But did you find that to be true for you, that if you could just focus on those 2 things, right? Two skills that you needed to sort of set as a intention to be able to get good at, was that really sort of a gateway that opened things up for you to take things to another level?
Like, to be honest, there are many different skills to learn, right? Like the conversational, like how you talk to people, how you close people. But on the surface level, before all that can happen, yes, the story part is so important, because by far the fastest way to get people to know, like, and trust you and to relate to you is by storytelling. That is by far the fastest way, right? So learning essentially on how, like, again, there's no secret sauce to writing copy and telling stories. You just got to do it, right? See what people write, like look at what Darren write, look at what I write. Again, model, don't copy. But again, it's all about putting the work, right? Because the more often you do it, it just becomes natural on how you write stories. And yes, so on a surface level, before you dig into the deeper stuff, it starts from knowing how to build relationships with telling stories to people.
Now, how important would you say that personal development is along this actual journey? Like, would you say that personal development is a daily income producing activity for you?
All right. So, okay, the thing about personal development is you can't put a direct ROI in it unless you you can't put a direct ROI in it. But what I would say, I'll call it it's a multiplier, right? It's a multiplier force. There's, again, like, if you're not producing any income, if you have personal development, then it's still zero, right? But if you're producing something and you have personal development, it's a multiplier formula, right? So like, to be honest, like, how I got first started and so fired up in all this, it was first from personal development, right? Knowing that the power of, again, like I always say, right, people like to invest in stuff, but the biggest investment that you can make is investing in yourself, because you are your biggest asset. And by far, like, as it go, this journey is always ups and downs, right? And if you have your mindset right, and if you have the skills, and if you have come from a place that you always want to be better, then that will help you through your tough times, right? Again, it's hard to say exactly personal development, but yes, like I read a lot of books, right? And personal development stuff has really helped me, in, especially in the mindset part, and going through hard times, right? Because okay, the thing is, shit always happens, right? But how how you view the situation, and what you do about it will make all the difference, right? And if your worldview, and if your lens on seeing that specific situation as a setback, then, and if you take it as that is a direct setback on you, then you feel affected, and that will kill your emotions, that will kill everything, and that will kill your sales, that will kill your relationships, right? But if you see that setback as a setup for a comeback, and ask yourself, what can you do about it, rather than why did it happen to me, what can you do about it, that will totally change the game for you, right? And yes, 100% personal development really, really helped me see things in a different lens that made all the difference for me.
Okay. I know that there's a couple things that when it comes to online. I mean, obviously, you have to have a steady stream of leads or qualified buyers to be opting in for something, right? And I always tell people that typically on the front end of their business, if they want to be able to start the process, something at a low ticket offer that is going to help the masses, right, is the easiest way to hit mass market if you're going to target marketers or people that are qualified buyers. And that can happen from a sales video or from an email, right, where the entry point, there's no type of resistance because it's typically on a low end, right? Did you find that for yourself, that it was a great way for you to build a list with something on the front end that hit mass market, that solved the pain, that would start to build your list of qualified buyers on the front end?
Yes, absolutely. Because it's again, it's all about having a value ladder. At the same time, if you don't like, it takes the same amount of effort to sell a low ticket and a high ticket. But the truth is, a low ticket goes to the masses, and it's just so much easier to convert people. Is because more people, it's like a no-brainer. It's like a no-brainer, right? So having a low ticket front end offer and having a value ladder on the back end, it's really, really important. Yes.
So now, did you this is the other thing that I typically tell people, is that when the scale starts to go up like this, and you get into, I would say it's probably beyond about $197, truth be known. Like, $7, $10, 25, 47, 97. 197 is kind of the zone where you're now into the other zone. And if you're gonna close somebody for $1,000 or 1,500 or higher, there's a high probability they're going to want to have a conversation with you. Am I correct about that?
Absolutely, absolutely.
Now, did you find that from doing the personal development and getting you into the right mindset, and then learning the actual people skills on how to turn a stranger into a friend, did that help the process for you to be able to start getting into closing those $1,000, $1,500 sales from really understanding more about people?
Absolutely, absolutely. Because at the end of the day, we're all in the people business, right? We're all in the people business, and knowing exactly on like talking to people and finding out what they want, where they want to be, what is their goals, what's their dreams, what's the background, and essentially just being a human, right? because not being like, a text bot, not being like an email to responder, yes, that's definitely help on the automated process. But if you're going to sell a high ticket, there's almost always usually a form of a direct personal relationship with the person.
Exactly. So let me ask you this, because I want for people to sort of get an idea of, so from December, so you came out of the gate, you started into mentoring, you started with the action steps. What did it sort of look like with your climb? Because I know that you, prior to doing 23 grand, the previous month, I think you surpassed 10, correct?
Yep.
And then
So
previous to that, so what did it look like with your exponential ramp up in the 6 months?
Yep. So the first 2 months, I wasn't really getting that much of a result, but the first 2 months again was all about planting seeds. And looking back again, I always share that the first few months that you get started, don't look at money as the outcome. Look, your KPI should be the amount of people that you help and the amount of people that you talk to, the engagements on your profile, and just how many people you add. Right, that should be your KPI. And then when you focus, because the truth is, if you always focus on the money, then the money will not come to you, right? Because you're always so needy. Like you always, hey, buy this, and you just send a link to people, and you forgot to build the relationship with them, right? So starting out first 2 months, it was all about focusing on the KPIs, and adding people, talking to people, messaging people, and helping people out essentially. And in March, I hit my first breakthrough was 5K. In April, it was 10K. And in May, I thought to do 15K and stretch myself a bit, but I flew past 20 and I hit 23K in May. So yeah, so that was essentially the build up. And it wasn't like I first got started and I hit 10K, right? It's not a story. But the first 2 months, it was pretty quiet, but it was all about building the foundation up, because you don't always build your house on solid rock and not building on sand.
Exactly. Exactly. So let me ask you this, because I know that there's a lot of people that are probably wondering this in the back of their mind. Okay. So you work on these shifts that you were doing. How many hours per day did you invest into your business after you got off your shift?
So when I first started out, it was more hours, like probably 2 or 3 hours on and off each day, because I had to build the foundation and actually do the things right. And after that, it's about one hour plus 1 2 hours. But the thing is, like, to be honest, I don't calculate the exact timing that I put in, because whenever I find pockets of time, when I'm in the train, when I'm at break, when I go to the toilet, I always find pockets of time to maximize whatever I do.
Excellent, excellent. Okay, so what I want to be able to do here is I want to actually reach out here to some of the people here, because we've had a ton of comments come through, and I want to find out what's going on in the minds of the people so that we can open this up and ask some questions. So Adriana, welcome. Great to see you here. Yo, Facebook user. Samuel is tuning in live. Hey, Darren and Joshua, great to see you. Awesome. Thanks for being here. Darius, how are you, sir? Great to see you here. We've got Chris Napa tuning in from New Jersey. Delroy, how are you? I always hated getting called in, always at the worst times. Kyle must work in a hospital as well. I fired my former boss last year. Best decision ever. Way to go, Angeline. David can definitely feel the frequency. Awesome. Love this. It resonates with me so much working in a hospital. Thank you for sharing your journey. Amazing. And yes, can feel the vibrations. Like I talk about this a lot, guys, about pitch and tone. Okay. It's vibrational frequency and it goes right through the portal. So when Joshua's talking, you can feel his passion. You can feel his passion for his dream. He's so connected to his dream that it comes right through in his voice, right? Blake says, I can totally feel that. Awesome energy. Rita says she's feeling it. You're on fire, Joshua. Yes, you are, for sure. The only way to do it. Delroy says, yes, can feel his energy. Yes, I can feel the vibration. We can feel it, says Chris. He's very passionate about what he's speaking. This is what I'm talking about, guys. And I wanted to be able to showcase Joshua tonight. Okay, I want to tell you, do a little bit of a flashback here. Okay, because this was only maybe about 6 weeks ago or so. Okay, and Joshua was probably maybe at like, I don't know, 6,000 or something like that. Okay, and him and I got on a Zoom, right, which I recommend to people if you want to build relationships. And I just reached out this one time and I said, hey, Joshua, what are you doing? I can't remember if we were on FaceTime or if we were on Zoom, Joshua. Do you remember?
Messenger. I remember I was about to sleep.
Yeah, right. So I gave him a call, right? And I said, okay, congratulations. I said these commissions come in, and this was kind of when he was just on his cusp, right? And I said, listen, if you can get past $10,000 in a single month, then I'm going to book you for an interview, right? Now, I'm just being honest here. He probably thought that I was just like feeding a bunch of BS to him, right? But I was really serious. And, when I saw him post his number for the month of May at 23,000, guess who was in Messenger saying, bro, congratulations, let's do an interview, right? And here we are right now. And that, my friends, is an example of the process. Truth be known, okay? Truth be known is that if you do these action steps that we actually talk about in Millionaire Mentoring, if you learn about people, you learn people skills, right? You learn that it's not about what you think you're selling. It's about finding out about the person and finding out what pain they're going through and then helping them in some way. Those are the planting the seeds that he was talking about. I call it making universal deposits into other people's lives, okay? And then he said that, over the time, he took 2 months to plant a bunch of seeds and put out value to the people as he was learning and growing and connecting and building his audience, right? And then the harvest started to sprout, right? He planted all the corn and then it started to sprout in his 3rd month. And here he is today at a $23,000 month. Priscilla says she can feel the vibration. I definitely feel the high vibrational frequency. The eye of the tiger, says Delroy. It's a laser focus attitude, right? Yes, you can feel his passion for what he's doing. High energy portal right here. Yes, I feel his energy. Who is your audience and how did you come to decide that? Good question from Rita.
Yep. So like essentially, like what Darren says, it's again knowing, like that's a good question, Rita, because knowing who is your dream customer is so important. So again, it comes back to what you're selling, right? And Darren preaches in Black Ops that target the people who are in personal development because you already know that these people want something more, right? And that's exactly on. The thing is, if you try to sell someone who does not already buy in on an idea, it just takes too much time. It takes too much time to convince a person to change their thoughts, right? Because there are always people who are problem aware, there are people always who are solution aware, and people who just do not know that they have a problem, right? So in this specific, I target the people who are in the affiliate marketing space and the people who are in the personal development space as well, because that that these people already know affiliate marketing, but they're just looking for their breakthrough, right? And that's the best place to talk to people and not try to convince people why affiliate marketing is the way to go, why personal development is the way to go, because these people are already in that space. So by far, like again, knowing what is your product and knowing who is your dream customer and finding out the people who already know about it, but just are looking to join something or have not hit that breakthrough as well. That is by far, one of the best audience that to have.
Exactly. Good answer, my friend. Good answer. Victoria says, especially coached by a coach that truly cares about your success if you take it. Awesome. Appreciate that. Okay, what do we got? We've got planting seeds. Excellent, says Augusto. That's true. 3 universal deposits keep the debt collectors away. Storytelling is gold, says Kyle, and you're correct. Thomas says 100%. Darren, a little happy to hear that you say people and not the ugly word prospect. Bravo. Well, it's a people business. It's all about the people. Facebook user says replay, but we're live. We're actually live. You can ask a question tonight. How about that? Daisha, how are you? Great to see you here. Adam Watt, hey, what's going on? Pierre tuning in from Ohio. Pam says plant the seeds. Sorry, I mean live from Brisbane. Okay. What I want to do here now, guys, is if you've got some questions, a lot of people think about these things in the back of their head, okay? And a lot of times they think like, do I need some like superhero talent and skill to be able to do this? Do I need to be able to like divorce my wife to be able to do this? Do I need to put my kids lock them in a bedroom to be able to do this? So I want you guys to think of the things that are going on in your head, and because we want to be able to have an interactive exchange here, because Joshua's done it now. Okay, he got to his breakthrough. He's on the other side. Okay, typically what you got to understand here, guys, just so you know, is that in North America, the average North American family only makes between $3,000 and $5,000 a month. Okay, and most people, when you talk about their vision, provided that they're on some sort of path of personal development, the most requested number is 10,000 a month. Okay, that is the most requested number, and I can tell you the number shockingly has not changed in 3 decades, which is a little bit bizarre, right? But it's always been 10,000 a month is the springboard or the gateway. Okay, so Joshua is now on the other side. Okay, he did 23,000 then in the month of May, and right now, as of the 10th, he was at 10,700. So he may actually break $30,000 this month, and he's pretty darn close to saying bye-bye to his boss at the hospital. So what I want to do is I want for you guys to think of some of the questions that you could ask Joshua, because he's here and he's live and you have his ear to ask a question. Okay, so Rita says, aha moment, thanks for explaining. Angeline says, standing ovation. Talk about a few specific worst moments you had to fight through when it was frustrating, building your audience and talking to people, and how painful it was. Then your thoughts, you worked through them, if you can.
Yep. Good question, James. I think that's the quote unquote problem that people always have getting started. But to be honest, I came from the space of servitude, right? How can you serve people? When you come from the place of how can you help this person, to be honest, you won't feel that frustrated, right? Yes, there are people who just ignore you, but the truth is next, right? Next. There's always a next person. There's so many people on Facebook that you can talk to, that you can add, right? So help people by actually helping people and come from a place of adding value to people. And if those people do not see you giving value to them and those people just ignore you, then don't let your energy get hurt by that. Because the truth is, there are some people who always just put a thumbs up and just ignore you. Fine, cool, next.
Exactly. You know, I'll tell you what's really interesting is sometimes it's kind of hard to see the most obvious things, right? And I'm going to tell you the story of what just happened. Like, I think it was actually this morning, and somebody that is now in Millionaire Mentoring said, you know, hey Darren, like what's the exact action process that I need to take in order to take somebody from here to here on the other side as a sale? And I said, you know what? I got a really great idea. Scroll back up to the top of the chat and you can actually see it unfolding, right? From the first point of the exchange of becoming friends to the exact things that were talked about all the way through the process. I said, you're here right now, right? You're here right now. So it worked, right? So look at all the action steps that we did, right, together, because at the end of the day, if you just go back and look at it, that's kind of like sometimes what's so obvious seems like a hidden secret. Okay. Do you find that, Joshua? Like, even though we talk about these things and we say, like, granted, you're going to have to get control of this. And granted, you're going to have to step into your power. And granted, you're going to have to connect with people and build relationships. But it's actually a simple process if people actually just do the process. Am I correct?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, like the sales process and what I'll call the straight line is always a straight line, right? But how fast you get to it is just a matter of more practice and just doing it more often. At the end of the day, it's just a numbers game, right? And like, repetition is the mother of skill, right? Tony Robbins always says repetition is the mother of skill. You gotta always do it more often, and you just get used to it.
Exactly. George says, great info. Appreciate that, George. With you not having a lot of time, what do you focus on most?
I'm focused most on, like I always say, have a daily method of operation. Like, the things that you do on a daily basis, adding people, messaging people, talking to new people, and asking for the sale. These are the and posting on your timeline, right? Posting and giving value. These are the couple of things that you must do on a daily basis. While everything else, consider it as an extra.
Okay. Now, I know that a lot of people wonder about this, Joshua. Maybe you can share, like a lot of people will, you'll see them like post, they'll put up a post, and then an hour later they'll put up another post, and then an hour later they put up another post, and then maybe 3 posts in an hour, and then they put up, maybe I've seen people put up 15 posts in a single day, right? Give us an idea of what you have found to be the best strategy on how often do you post?
Right. So my best advice when you're first starting out, at least, would be to post like one a day, right? If you're gonna be doing 2 posts, then at least try to keep it 12 hours apart, right? Because what happens is the Facebook algorithm is just trying to compete within your own post. So 1 post a day, it's fine. If you're gonna do 2, try to keep it 12 hours apart.
Okay. And then once you start getting a little bit of traction, should the people spread the posts out to maybe 1 every 2 days or 1 every 3 days, or what have you found to be most effective on that?
To be honest, like the past couple of days, I've not been too active on my posting. But if you can, always post at least 1 a day, right? But I mean, of course, right? Sometimes you get busy. Then at least the least you can do is just post a quote.
Here's the interesting thing, guys, and you'll notice that as Joshua is giving reference, okay, like I've heard him, I think, say Tony Robbins at least twice, maybe even 3 times on this particular broadcast. And I tell people, success leaves clues, guys, okay? There's no way that you can wrap stuff off that fast unless it's been ingrained into your subconscious mind through the power of repetition, right? That's how he can just, oh, Tony Robbins said this, oh, Tony Robbins said that, because he's on the path of personal development. I think that's very, very important for you to understand. Where are you going to find the people? Personal development pages, affiliate pages?
Yeah, so I mean, look out and who are the so-called gurus in the affiliate marketing space, in the personal development space. You can add people from those pages or in the Facebook groups as well, right? Because like the thing about traffic, right? Just a short bit, right? The thing about traffic is people always think that traffic is always created, but the truth is traffic already exists. It's all about how can you find where the traffic goes and how can you intercept the market, right? There's always people congregating online in different Facebook groups, in different podcasts, in different platforms, and they read different books, right? So it's all about asking yourself, where does your target market congregate online? Which page do they follow? Which podcast do they listen? Which books do they read? And all those are your target markets. I hope that answers the question.
Excellent, excellent answer. Joshua, what are you feeling on paid ads? Do you use them yourself in your business?
Nope. Like so far, like I did try paid ads before, but like anything related to affiliate marketing, I've not done paid ads yet until this point. As we are shooting this live, not done paid ads yet. And I think like what are your feeling on it? Okay, so what my feeling is on, there is a bit more scalability on the paid ads, but the truth is if you're gonna be building a long-term business, a people business, I would say, if you're gonna be a long-term people business, the hard part about paid ads is transitioning from people who just click on the ad to people who you actually talk to, that you have a real relationship with. That's just a small problem about running ads.
Exactly. I talk about that a lot. And you know, the bizarre thing, guys, is that we had one couple that were they started off actually 6 children. They went 2 days with no water with an eviction notice, and they basically hit their massive breaking point. Okay, and I'll tell you what the massive breaking point was for them was the water company pulled up to the front of their house. They lived in kind of an upper scale community, and she was doing really well in network marketing, and it was the fuse, right? She was bringing people in on the front, and it was like the fuse was burning on the back, and people were canceling their auto ships. And then all of a sudden, the bottom just completely fell out, and they were 2 months behind in rent. They had an eviction notice, but when the water company pulled up and turned off their water, and all the neighbors and everybody saw that they were getting their water cut off, boom, that was their breaking point. And it's typically something like that. It could be something that your spouse says to you, something that your kids say to you, something that your boss does, traffic, something that takes a person to their breaking point where they say, I can't take this anymore, right? So that's typically what happens. Now, here's the interesting thing. They just learned these free organic strategies that we teach in Millionaire Mentoring that Joshua has implemented. Now, he was very coachable, and he got it right away, and he just took massive action, and now here he is telling his story. But Jennifer and Jose, they went to an industry event called Funnel Hackers, right, which is put on by Russell Brunson and ClickFunnels. And as they were networking, right, with people offline, they were actually using the same strategies that we teach online, offline, and they were closing deals at the event itself. Okay, so keep that in mind. But when they told people that their very first year in their business, they had made $157,000 in profit, the people all asked, where are you doing your paid traffic from? And when they told the people that they didn't do paid traffic, they said, we didn't know how like it would make us like celebrities. Like everybody was like bowing down to us because we could do all this stuff with free organic strategies, right? And now Jennifer is now the admin for ClickFunnels in their group. Okay. And that's how fast things can happen, guys, right? When you're coachable, you learn the skills and you apply the skills. Okay. When you're super tired, how did you force or get yourself to talk to people and do content? Or did you wait until you felt good when you worked?
The thing that, okay, this one thing that I learned, right? The one thing that differentiates a champion from average is when you do the work, you do not get affected by your emotions. You do not get affected by how you feel, right? Aside, whatever that you need to do, that you tell yourself that you need to do on a daily basis, don't let your emotions affect you. Don't let how you feel affect you. Don't let your mood affect you. And that itself, which I learned, that differentiates a champion from an average person, is you do not do things based on your mood. Because the truth is, mood always swings, right? I have bad days as well, right? But if whatever you do depends on your mood, then it's really hard to control. So despite the mood that you have, the shit day that you have, you still do what you got to do.
Exactly. Do you have more than one stream of income outside of your job?
No, like a bit of investing, but my job is the main thing, and affiliate marketing.
Yeah. I think he's like you've got multiple different offers though, correct?
Yeah, multiple offers.
Yeah,
Yes, that's correct.
exactly. Exactly. What tools did you use to find people who are already in the personal development platform?
The beauty about it, there's no tool. It's
Yeah,
all about going to who's the person you're target, go to their page, go to their groups, and it's all there.
exactly. Mindset is very important. Congratulations, phenomenal results. If you had to start again, what would you do differently to accelerate your results?
Start from being coachable and taking action daily and being relentless, right? Like just just do it and stop quitting. Just do it and stop quitting.
You know, it's if you miss the first part of the story here, guys, he would have saved himself 3 years, right? Because he was guessing and struggling and I'm going to try this, I'm going to try that, I'm going to try this, I'm going to try that. So he you know, truth be known, he's 23 right now. In the event that he had started with mentorship and then done it, he would have actually, we would be we'd be doing this interview right now, and I would say, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to introduce you to Joshua Ong, only 20 years old. Nice. Next reminds me of door knocking. Much better to say next than to try to change the desire and waste a time we could have been to 3 to 5 others and gotten a yes. Correct.
Yes. By the way, just can we put back the previous question, Darren, if you don't mind? Yeah. This itself, right? Just a small mindset shift. When I had right, just to tell a short story. And this is an aura ring that I just bought, right? And my friend bought this ring. And what happened was I was asking my friend what color should I buy, what design that should I buy. And my friend, because my friend used it before, right? I was just asking for his advice, and he told me that, Josh, the amount of time that you spend deciding on which design and which color to buy, you can focus on closing on a high ticket sale. And that is, I was like, I was so blown away, right? So the amount of time that you spend on focusing on the people who just don't reply you, on people who just don't open a door, that time itself you can be spending on doing something so much better and even closing a high ticket sale. So yeah.
Exactly. But you know, the interesting thing, and I just want to kind of bring this to your guys' attention on this, right? Because the energy force is so critical to be able, it starts with here, it starts with your mind, and then the mindset transfers over to here, okay? And that's what goes through the portal. So you can kind of tell when somebody's in peak zone and when they're in the zone, right? Just from pitch and tone. And you can tell from listening to Joshua's voice that he's tapped into his power. And this is why I tell people that we're in an industry of personal power, guys. Okay, personal power. That's why I tell people it's about personal development. Just do the thing. And great question, Latoya, about not having lots of time. Okay. I agree. 12 hours apart, 2 posts a day is a great idea, says Angeline. Does every post that you do provide a story, or do you alternate between curiosity or mindset posts?
Yeah, I mix it up. Rita. To be honest, the thing is, people ask like, what's the best time to post? What's the best kind of content to post? The truth is, different. Your friend lists are made up of different people, so it's hard to say exactly which content, which timing post works the best. But my best advice is to test. That's the best way to test things out. Post at 6 a.m., post at 7 a.m., different days using different stuff, and then you'll know which post captures people.
Okay. So, and I want to just bring this word to everybody's attention that you just heard Joshua say, that I say all the time in Millionaire Mentoring. Okay. Somebody says, Darren, will this work? What about it? Will this work? I say, I don't know. Go test it. Go test it. So you're hearing it directly from somebody who's coachable, saying the exact same language that we say, right? Everything in marketing is about testing. You test it, you look at the data, you analyze the data, and then you test something else. You analyze the data. It's all about testing, 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 right? So I just wanted to bring that to your attention, especially if you go watch the replay, which you should do. you're going to hear that word, and you're going to pick up a lot of things that you didn't the first time that you were live. So I can tell you that I do that even when I do something. If I do a Facebook Live, I go watch it myself, guys. That's all part of the process. So keep that in mind. When you say a post, do you mean like a live or motivational video?
Yeah, which are like all different. It's just different content strategies that again you gotta use, right? A post, a video, a picture. So it's all the things that you need to test.
Yeah, they just so you know, Priscilla, when you go to Facebook and it says, something about what's on your mind, ... and then it gives you, do you want to put a color? Do you want to put just text? Do you want to put a video? Do you want to post a picture? Do you want a picture and a story? It's right there along. That's called a post, right? What you're putting onto your news feed. Are you posting value in groups to get qualified leads?
Yeah, the group that I openly post the most, like not saying the most, but I actually spend time to write a lot. The guys, like some people like crack their mind about how to write content. The longest time that I spent to write a piece of content was 4 hours. I spent 4 hours to write a long freaking post, and the post that I dropped it was in the ClickFunnels group.
Excellent. When you created your first special sauce, did you offer this for as free value to solve a pain point?
So I don't really catch special sauce.
Something that makes you unique and different in the marketplace. Have you created something that's your thing, that you're like a marketing strategy or something that helps people in marketing or solves a specific pain point that they're going through?
But I do have the thing that I just launched, which is the automation part. But aside from that, when I first started, it's all about really helping people, right? There's no specific, because okay, the truth is different people bite on different stuff, right? Different people bite on different stuff. So it's first seeing your customer or your lead or your prospect, what do they really want and what do they really need, and how can you position your offer in a way that will suit whatever that they want to buy. Make sense?
Exactly. Are you working your business marketing while you're at work?
Yeah, when I find pockets of time, I'll do it. When I'm in the toilet or when I have a bit free time, I'll just be on my phone replying to people as much as I can.
Right on, right on. When do you know when it's time to take them off of Facebook and onto the phone?
To be honest, most of my closing is just in Messenger. Like most of my closing is in Messenger. The truth is, whether you do it in Messenger or you do it in a phone, it's just different means of doing it, right? If you know the process, you can take like what Darren says in the ClickFunnels example, right? The ClickFunnels hacking live with, online or offline, as long as you know the process, you can bring it in whatever medium, whatever platform that you want.
Exactly. Have you heard of CloudFunnel?
Nope, sorry.
Well, neither have I. Sorry. Do you do Facebook Live every week or every day?
As of now, I'm not so often in doing my Facebook lives. Even if I do it mostly in my Facebook group. But for you guys who are watching, if you are in the Black Ops community, Darren did say that, go and pick a book about personal development and do a 10-day Facebook live challenge. And when he said that, I literally did that as well. So be coachable. And if you're gonna do a live, take what Darren advised, find a book that you like to read, and just go 10 days live for Facebook and share golden nuggets of whatever you learned within the book.
Excellent. What was the one thing that you did that hit your breakthrough?
To be honest, there's just so many things, and it's just all a build up of multiple things. But if you are to ask me, looking back 6 months ago, the one thing would be, it's really hard. Like, be coachable and take action all the way.
Yeah, well, I mean, like, here's the interesting thing, whoever the Facebook user is, right? Keep in mind, he tried for 3 years, and it was when he surrendered his pride and his ego, he got into Millionaire Mentoring, and he took action, right? So truth be known, it would be getting into mentoring is really what got him onto the path, right? So that's really where the breakthroughs happen. I always wondered about the emotions. It's much easier to do the work regardless of my emotions than to change my emotions before I work. That helps. Awesome. Test and tweak, says Angeline. Awesome. Yes, it's all about the data. You're correct. Test and tweak, gather results. I don't know, Chris. Go test it. LOL. I've said that many times. Thank you, Joshua. Lots of value, Josh. Thank you. Thank you, says Jen. So much value here tonight, Josh. I did the 10-day Facebook live challenge too. Awesome. What is the #1 personal development book that you read that helped you?
Oh man, that's hard. But like, there's so many books that I read, but the first 2 books that I always recommend people that helped me in the start was Rich Dad Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki and Secrets of the Millionaire Mind by T.Harv Eker. Right, Rich Dad Poor Dad and Secrets of the Millionaire Mind. These 2 books that I always recommend people when they first start.
Excellent. How many people do you have in your group now after 6 months in, and did you have any before then?
I know. So when I first started, like, I had my previous Facebook group, but that was like about 100 people, but they were all like not active at all. So I scrapped that group. I started a new group when I first got started, and until now, I think I've about 600 plus people in.
Excellent. About emotions, people hate their jobs, but they still go to work. This is the same. There you go. Blake says, thanks, Josh. Awesome, guys. Well, I appreciate you. Appreciate your time joining us here on this exclusive and private VIP broadcast. Joshua, standing ovation, my friend. Super, super proud of you. Guys, if you're tuning in tonight on tonight's broadcast, or if you're watching the replay and you've been struggling and spinning your wheels because you just don't want to admit that you have a problem, and it's part of the human condition. We all go through this process. We all are our worst enemy and resist the process like this until finally one day will come when you finally reach your breaking point, exactly like what happened to Joshua. He surrendered his pride, he surrendered his ego, and he decided that it was time to get a millionaire mentor and learn the action steps and the blueprint on exactly what he needed to do to get to freedom. And here he is now, 6 months later, and he just had a $23,000 month, and there's a high probability he's going to peak 30 grand this month. And my question to you is, what's stopping you? Why not you? Why not you? You could be here right now, and I could be interviewing you in the same spot that Joshua is in right now. So I would encourage you, if that's you, and you've got value from tonight, and you really want to take your life 10x and live a laptop lifestyle, a life of freedom, where you can work whenever you want, wherever you want. Obviously, you still work. This illusion of just going to the beach every day and money raining from the sky, you know, guys, come on, right? It's a relationship-driven industry. In the event that you're in any type of a team-building business model, it's about gathering a team together and then gathering the team together and providing those people with value to get them to their breakthrough too. Okay, that's our industry. There's other business models. There's e-commerce business model, which Joshua tried and it wasn't a fit for him, right? So there's other types of business models. You've got to find what works best for you. But I can tell you this, if you don't get this in check, you don't get your mindset in check, and you don't know the action steps on what to do to step into your power and step into leadership, that's where it starts. And it starts in Millionaire Mentoring. So if you want to take action, you want to be the next success story, reach out to me, throw me a message. Joshua, you're awesome, brother. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us on this exclusive and private VIP broadcast. My name is Darren Little from Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada, and let's go get it. Have a good one. All the best.
Yep. Thank you, guys.